It's August 6th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR today. And we have a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right in. But first off, this is not financial advice. Please hit that like button to support the channel. And Michael Saylor wants us to know to not sell our Bitcoin. He says, you do not sell your Bitcoin. He's talking to me, he's talking to you. Look at that face. He's not joking around. You do not sell your Bitcoin. And he also wants us to know that Bitcoin is a bridge to tomorrow. And he's just looking out over the San Francisco Bay saying, life is good because I own Bitcoin. Adam says, the MNAV explains. The Bitcoin treasury phenomenon has turned the concept of valuation on its head. Too many people not understanding the MNAV. I'll walk you through why price predictions are fiat cope, how MNAV creates a recursive Bitcoin acquisition flywheel, why issuing shares above NAV isn't dilution, it's Bitcoin alchemy, how companies are turning market euphoria into discounted BTC exposure, and why MNAV directly controls the cost of capital in a Bitcoin-denominated financial system. This is a 19-minute video from Adam. I will post it right in the show notes below. If you want to go through and understand MNAV, the Bitcoin acquisition signal, go through this video, consume this content, and enjoy. I've had a lot of people in the comments asking for more details about MNAV, which is why I'm posting this now. So check it out, enjoy, and Adam, thank you for the great content. We have Chris saying, here you go, my revised ultimate investment thesis guide for strategy following the Q2 2025 earnings. This right here is a fantastic thesis guide for strategy. Chris is very thorough with this. I love it. I love the fact that he continues to update it as well. And now that the Q2 2025 earnings is in the rearview mirror, it needed an update. He's given it an update, and it's here now. So if anybody ever asks you, why are you fully porting into MSTR? You can just send them this investment thesis guide. And if they're not willing to read it, just say, okay, I've given you what you need to understand this company. If you don't want to, that is totally your choice. Ragnar says, strategy raised and deployed $18 billion in the first 7 months of 2025. Isn't this incredible? If we take a step back and reflect on this properly, and then this is actually posted from strategy, the market has trusted us with another $18 billion for purchasing Bitcoin so far this year. And then they have this chart, which is the fiscal year of 2024. And then this is year to date 2025. So as you can see, they are not slowing down. They're ramping up the fixed income. We've already invested, or I should say, raised more in the fixed income realm than we did all of last year. Of course, that's because of these amazing 4 preferred instruments, and that's going to continue to expand. The common equity is going to continue to slow down again until we hit the 2.5 MNAV, which is right now around $600 per share. So no MNAV until $600 per share, except again for the dividends, payments, etc. Just poetry in motion. I love it so much. And let's move on over to Dan Hillary, who says, looks like the anti-correlation is working. And that's when he's talking about stretch, which you can see is up to $96.50. The effective yield is about 9.3%. But when he talks about the anti-correlation, -7% correlated to MSTR and -37% correlated to Bitcoin. So that's exactly what Michael Saylor is going for, the anti-correlation, and it's working. Chris says, you have Bitcoin maxis plugging into Strategy's preferred products and trading off some of the Bitcoin upside in exchange for yield. What do you think is going to happen when TradFi wakes up to them? Just think about that. Bitcoin maxis are plugging into Strategy's preferred products and trading off some of the Bitcoin upside in exchange for yield. What's going to happen when TradFi wakes up? They're going to absolutely back up the truck and dump unbelievable amounts of capital into these products. I mean, I'm not personally rotating any money out of MSTR or Bitcoin into these products. I'm instead using them. Hey, this was cash that was getting about 4% in my Fidelity account. Why would I not just slide it over to Stretch and get 9.3%? And knowing also that Michael Saylor is going to get this to $100 per share. So buying at $89 per share was the biggest no-brainer of my investing career thus far, and it's been working out pretty well so far. When it gets to 100, I'll be looking to rotate maybe into Stride because hey, I'll be getting 12% with Stride right now, so that's pretty exciting times. We have breaking. Indonesia's vice president's office considers adopting Bitcoin as a national reserve asset. The Bitcoin game theory is playing out. I mean, back when Pakistan brought Michael Saylor on as an advisor, I said, man, India's going to come on board. Indonesia's going to come. They're not going to let Pakistan run the Bitcoin playbook in that part of the world without giving it a whirl. That's what game theory is all about. And so it's playing out in front of our eyes. Nothing stops this train. And then Michael Saylor wants us to know, and I loved this. I was on it today, actually, strategy.com. Stretch metrics are now live. And you can see all the metrics are right here. Really exciting times on what they have going on here. The lifetime return, 7%. The effective yields, 9.3%. The dividends, 9% at par. So when it gets to 100, it'll be paying 9%. And you can see the correlations actually even adjusted a little more anti-correlation since the post from Chris. I mean, now it's negative 11%. Incredible stuff. So exciting times. I have a video from Tom Lee and a few videos from Michael Saylor you're not going to want to miss. So sit back and enjoy.
I didn't answer your last question, which is, key man risk. What if I go away? And I thought about it, and what I would just say is, first of all, I don't have any heirs, but a nonprofit foundation, which will morph in being a public charity. So when I'm gone, my stock, my shares, my assets flow into a public charity whose mission is to support Bitcoin and the adoption of Bitcoin forever. And so you don't have to worry about MicroStrategy changing direction. You don't have to worry about, the truth is, I'm probably better for Bitcoin gone than here, dead than alive. As long as if you're dead, you can't, what was the word? Murder? Was it slay your heroes? Slay your heroes. So, once I'm gone, I'm not going to be talking, so I can't give a bad tweet, I suppose. And MicroStrategy are just going with the MicroStrategy. And the MicroStrategy is simple. It's raise capital from the institutions that have capital, buy Bitcoin, hold the Bitcoin forever, don't lose the Bitcoin, don't sell the Bitcoin.
When it comes to my assets, diversification is key. I don't want to be over leveraged in any one thing. I mean, yes, I own MSTR and it makes up a large part of my portfolio, but I also own Bitcoin and always will. And now, thanks to my new sponsor, BitIRA, you can own Bitcoin in a tax-sheltered retirement account. BitIRA has been around for almost 10 years. As one of the trailblazers in alternative IRAs for crypto, they have built the world's most secure digital IRA. Here's why you'll love them. End-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the US government. And it's fully IRS compliant. If you have a 401k from an old employer or an IRA gathering dust and you'd rather have that retirement account converted to an IRA in Bitcoin, BitIRA will help you convert it free of taxes or penalties. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without taxes incurred on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Again, that's bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin.
Michael Saylor is changing the reality of the stock market. And the reason is that he probably will end up being potentially the largest company in the stock market. Okay. Especially if Bitcoin goes to 1 million. Yet he doesn't generate GAAP net income to justify it. he's based solely on the value of his balance sheet. And but that's not new to history, because when I graduated college, the biggest stock in the S&P, a top 5 name was ExxonMobil. And it was top 5 for 28 years, 30 years, like an entire generation. Graduated, worked on Wall Street. A top 5 name was a company that was only valued on the value of its oil, not on its net income. So like MicroStrategy is like replacing Exxon in lore, because for a whole generation, people said Exxon was the biggest company, but you don't value it on earnings. Well, MicroStrategy could be one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's valued on its Bitcoin.
Wow.
Did. Now God comes down from heaven above, and God says, okay, I've decided to solve your problem. I'm going to run a bank in heaven. I'm going to issue 21 million God coins, and they're infinitely dividable. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this for you for just about nothing. And you can telepathically move the coins between each other to pay off your debts. And I'm going to make sure that no bank, no government, no counterparty, no country, no criminal takes your money away from you. And I promise never to inflate it. I'm just going to, so there's your money. There's your bank. It's a bank in heaven, right? And a person can hold a gun to your head, but you've got the money in your head, and the angels will, protect you. They might murder you, but they're not getting your money. So if I thought about that, I'm thinking, okay, God is going to run an honest bank for me. Okay, good. That's probably good. But in the absence of God offering to run the bank, and protect your property rights forever from everybody, the next best idea is we create a piece of software using cryptography, and then the software instantiates in the protocol 21 million coins subdividable by 100 million, so 2.1 quadrillion satoshis. Which is effectively enough. You could subdivide it more if you needed to. We create that system, and now you can send 1,000, 100, a million, a billion, 10 billion, $100 billion worth of that from anybody to anybody without asking anybody's permission using a computer. You can hold $1 million in your head, $1 billion in your head. You can hold it in your hand. If you know you're going to get arrested, you can just zap it to your sister in Singapore. If you don't trust the bank in New York, you can put it with the bank in London. Right? And if you don't trust any bank, you self-custody. Gold invites violence. Alexander, gallivanted around the world to seize gold. Livy tells the story of 1,000 Roman sieges in order to steal the gold. Caesar sacked Gaul to take their gold. Kublai Khan seized the gold. Pizarro seized gold from the Incas. Cortez seized gold from the Aztecs. Charles I seized the gold from all the British nobles. The Prussians seized gold from the French in 1871. In World War I, everybody seized the gold. Lenin seized gold from the church in 1922. Roosevelt seized everybody's gold in 1933. Stalin seized the gold of the Spaniards in 1936. Churchill took everybody's gold in 1940 at the onset of the war. At Bretton Woods, the United States seized the world's gold and then took it hostage, and then Nixon killed all the hostages in 1971. What's the second best? There is no second best.